Hi fellas, today we're gonna talk about The Expert at the Card Table by S.W. Erdnase. And before I started this review, I was wondering what can I say that hasn't already been said about the book. There's also a book written about it. Okay, there's a book written about this book. So I'm going to leave the description of the history behind the book outside of this video because I think it's very well documented. And I would like to move to mostly emphasize what's in it. So, because I think this is far less documented in the past. And we can just dive right into the book and see what it looks like. First of all, we have a soft cover this time, for the first time in the channel. However, this book comes in many different formats. It's 234 pages long. You can either find it for soft cover, hardcover, even a pocket size book. So, these are the contents of the book. It's supposed to be written for card sitting. However, the book, most of the things described on the book won't really work in a card table because the protocol of shuffling and dealing has evolved over the years, and this was first published in 1902. So it's been quite enough time since ever since then. So you can say that the book is a bit dated. However, there are plenty of stuff that are still used today by magicians mostly, and I would highly recommend this book because of that and because of the purity of it. You know, being the first at something is something that I always feel more prone to reading because you get the source material and you can develop it yourself. Anyhow, the book starts with some top stop control and bottom stop control. With the shuffles, you can control a small portion of the deck either on top or in the bottom, as well as falsely shuffle the entire deck. It also explains a lot of technical terms, so you are able to understand the book much more easily. The overhand shuffles, where they retain the top stock as well as the bottom stock or even the entire order of the deck, as well as stacking. It's covered in this book, both in overhand shuffle and on the table with a riffle. So we have a chapter that is mostly focused on beating the dealer's cut when somebody cuts the cards, either with a bridge or a crank or with an accomplice, right? So we have that, and we're gonna move to false dealing, as most of the card cheating books tend to follow. They take it priority because in the casino you first shuffle, then someone cuts, and then you deal, right? And not in the casino, mostly more in private games or so, but that doesn't matter. Let's go back to the book, and we're starting off with the second deal, probably the first printing of the move. There is also the bottom deal. As you can see, it doesn't use a normal grip, the ones that magicians will call today dealer's grip. However, it serves as a good fundamental to start learning these difficult moves. We have a lot of palming in this book, like the diagonal palm shift, which is the most famous sleight, in my opinion, that this book has to offer, because it's very widely used among magicians, and it's one of the hardest palming techniques you can learn. However, there are also the top palm, bottom palm, covered very well in this book, as well as with multiple cards. And we also have the classic pass. Yes, this is first covered in this book, and another amazing move. Perhaps I will take it back, maybe this is the most known move in the book. And moving on, we have also the one-handed pass. The Charlier cut is covered. We get to see a lot more color changes, more palmings, as well as the Mexican turnover. SWE shift is another one that is very known, however is a bit impractical, but it's still known amongst magicians, a fun move to do. There is also 3-card monte in this book. It covers all the basic technique, so it really serves as a good fundamental for gambling demonstrations. You can start with this if you like to go to do gambling stuff. Even though it's not beginner friendly, you cannot do gambling stuff. Gambling stuff are advanced anyway, so this is the most beginner-friendly book you can find when it comes to false dealing, when it comes to false shuffling, etc. The book, however, finishes up with a couple of card tricks at the end, which goes to show that this is not really meant for card cheating entirely. It's more of an enthusiast's book. That's at least how I perceive it. It also covers a back palm here for the first time printed, another very famous move from this book. And that's pretty much a review. As I said earlier, what I think about this book, I think that this is great for intermediate magicians that want to move into gambling, or even beginners that want to move into gambling, because it has a lot of gambling moves. They are designed in a way to work much more easily, especially with the Erdnase grip. However, that for me will only be a good introductory to these moves, and then later on you should switch up for a proper deal, because the Erdnase deal is not really, to my opinion at least, very subtle. Anyway, yeah, so let's put it for intermediate. Let's put this book in intermediate, and you can go wrong with this book. It's really cheap. It's been more than 120 years old, so you can go about for $10 or less than 10 euros if you're in Europe. And I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I wish to see you here in the next one. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful year ahead.